Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to let a few code errors or some hardware defects detract us from getting this training video completed here. So take 297, I'm going to show you how to do the call list, the new one that we've created for VersaRent. So to access it, you need to be on the main screen in VersaRent. It's under Reports, Customer Reports, and it's going to be the Customer Call List, All Opportunities. When you run it, a menu like this is going to come up, and you have a couple options here. You can either click View, which will bring up sort of a web page type document, and you can run it directly from here. My preferred method is that you download it, which will essentially take the same report and it'll put it into a file on your computer. Please don't save it to the VersaRent folder. Save it to the desktop. That would probably be the easiest place to put it. So now we're going to close out of here and go look on our desktop for that file, which is now right here, and open it. And it is an HTML document, so you can open it in the web browser of your choice. So we'll just use Microsoft Edge here. And this is what the list looks like. It's actually in two parts. The top list is going to be all of your call list opportunities. So you can see that they are grouped by customer name. So you could essentially have one customer that has 5 or even 6 different sales call opportunities. And then the second list, when you first run the report, is going to start out and it will be empty. And as you make your sales calls, this list will start to fill in down here. And at the very end of the working of the list, because I should also put in there that this list is meant to run weekly, and it's meant to be worked from the beginning of the week to the end. So by the end of when this list has been worked on a weekly basis, you should have no names up here. There should be no rows up in this top list, and this list here, the second list, should be full. And if you want to know more about the details of how this list works and what specifically is on the list, or if you ever need to refer back to the instructions, you can click this little link here which says How To Wiki. When you do that, it's going to take you directly to our Majik Wikipedia page for the call list sales opportunities, and this will have all the information that you would need to know, if you were coming into it with minimal knowledge of how to work the list and what's on it and how it functions. And you could read this document and you would have a pretty good idea of how to do it. So lastly here, I'm going to show you how this list works. So the way the list works is that we will use the collector workstation. Now typically most people have only ever used a collector workstation for making collection calls, account retention practices, but the collector workstation can be used for a lot of different things. In this case, we're going to use it to make sales calls. Now in order to do that, we do need to change a few things on the filters here. We need to change the filter to all customers instead of all late customers. And then we also want to click this check mark here so it will also include inactive agreements. And we're not going to be using the main list. So you could essentially run the list of all current customers and then filter using the search box at the top there. So for instance, if I wanted to make this first call, Thomas Camacho, using the whole list, I would want to use this search box up here and filter the list down till I got the call that I needed. We're not going to use that method for this video here though, especially with a larger store like York. The list, if you do all customers, is just going to be too large and unruly. So we're going to use the individual method to work this list to make these calls. So first name is Thomas Camacho, and I'm going to click the individual button here and look him up through the customer search. And as you make these calls, the thing that makes this new call list work, the sales call comments, and we're going to use a term tag. So the sales call comment tag that makes the call list work is all caps sales call. It does not matter what you put after the sales call tag, all caps sales call. What matters is that the all caps sales call comes first. So for Mr. Camacho, I made the call, and he was sold on getting a club membership. He loves the idea of getting $200 annual rebates. So I'm going to put some additional comments here after the all caps sales call tag that he will be in to get club, and those sales calls are logged. So I'm going to do a few more here calls so you can see how the list changes after doing some. So let's go back to our list here. Let's do call for Felix Cruz. Call Mr. Cruz here. A sales call. Okay. And Courtney Dalton. Did a sales call to Courtney Dalton. Alyssa De Jesus. Sales call. Couple more. Francis DeLuna. We called Francia DeLuna here. So put sales call. And we'll finish up here with Mika Dixon. Okay, we made the sales call to Mika Dixon. Put our all caps sales call tag in there. And why not? Let's do one last one here. We'll do a call to Miss Jennifer Dones. Put our all cap sales call tag in there. And again, it doesn't matter what you put after the sales call. That's what makes it work. Just make sure that you're not putting anything in there before the sales call all caps tag, because if you do, then it will not log the call. So I know some people are used to putting like the date in there, or maybe starting off with their initials, or if it's an urgent call. Don't do that here. To make this call list work, you need to use all caps sales call tag under the comments. Every time start with that. It doesn't matter what you put after, but it needs to start with the all caps sales call. Okay, so lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to run our report again. Hopefully that when you have someone doing the sales calls, you're not going to make that one person do all the calls in one sitting. I mean, maybe you would, but that would be kind of mean. So whenever you come to a stopping point, what you want to have them do is run the call list again. And in this case, I'm just going to view the call list. You would want to save it again to the desktop, probably with the date on the end there. But you can see that the calls that we made, the names are gone from the top list, and they now show down here on the second list. And you can see that the all cap sales call tag is what makes this list work. And so as these calls are made, they're going to show up down here. When you get to the end, there'll be no names up on this top list, and they will all be down on this second list. What we can do is then print this list, put in your sales binder, and that will be all of your sales calls for the week. And that's going to be it for this training video. So I hope that you get a chance to start using this call list. It's really going to be a big time saver, and overall I think it's going to make our whole sales call program more efficient and more effective. Thanks.